Hello, alrighty. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us again on our channel, the Football Fan Zone. And yes, this is the brand new episode. We're kicking off a new show, only Naij. Yeah, this show is going to be dedicated to all things Nigerian football. And yeah, it's just myself, my humble self, Mr. Pius and Mahmoudi here, reporting for duty, only Naij. All things Nigerian football. And I have my boss, my guy, the Adams here with me as well. The Adams, how are you doing? Excited for a brand new only night show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, who else would I do this with if not you, man? Mr. Nigerian football himself.
Man.
Yeah, I'm excited
Please.
for this one. Where we can talk about our own, talk about our guys doing well across the continent, across the world, and back home as well. We can talk about our local football. We also try to do our own research because speaking for myself, I haven't been following Nigerian football. I mean, the local leagues as much as I would love to. But yeah, this is a way of us, giving back and supporting our guys all over the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said, the Adams. Just like there's nothing good as following your local team as well. It brings back that sort of excitement and well. And then just like you mentioned as well, following our players, across the world in their club sites, and hoping they can translate their form, to our national team. All
Yeah.
right. Speaking of national team, let's start with the Super Eagles, the main let me not say the main national team, but the number one football
Yeah.
team for the nation, right? The Super Eagles. Let's start with what we saw in the last international break. So with the Nations Cup qualifiers for the next Nations Cup in Morocco, 2025 has commenced, and we saw two games back to back. At home to Benin Republic and away to Rwanda. We had a good result at home to Benin Republic, 3-0, goals from Ademola Lookman, a brace from Ademola Lookman, and one for Victor Osimhen. And then we saw the other results, a nil-nil draw away to Rwanda, right? Some people say, well, away from home, a point is not a bad result. Depends on how you want to look at it, but well, it is what it is. Yeah, Adams, let me start from there, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw those full two games. Let me get your assessment in terms of performance. How did you rate the performance of the team? What do you think? Maybe what do you think? Maybe the coach could have done differently. Maybe say the second game where we're not able to get a goal that would have
Yeah.
really put us in sort of real for like the box front seats in terms of qualifying for from that group, to the Nations Cup.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going back to the last international break now. The
Yeah,
last game against Rwanda. So the game against Benin Republic, it was a feel good game. We saw Ademola Lookman almost like stamp himself as the African Player of the Year with that
yeah.
performance. I would say he felt like a new era for him in his Super Eagles shirts. He felt like the star boy, so to speak, the one that he play everything went through him. And the other game against Rwanda, it was like it was the same, right? He was the main guy as well. The attack was flowing through him, and we started with Boniface again. And I felt like we actually created a lot of chances in that game. The
Yeah.
performance was good. We just couldn't get that goal for some reason. The goalkeeper for Rwanda was, had like a man of the match performance. But I think the thing that I feel like we could have changed, going, especially when we were looking for a goal, I felt that we could have changed the formation earlier. We started with three at the back, and I know we're trying to get insurance at the back. We don't want to concede goals, but for a team like Nigeria, a powerhouse of African football like Nigeria, with the amount of attacking talents we have, I don't think we should be playing with three center backs against Rwanda. Home or away. That's just my opinion. I don't think so. I know it worked well in Nations Cup, but that's a cup competition, right? That's a cup competition. That's different. The qualifiers against Rwanda, the attacking talent we have is just too much not to put them in display. And that I think that's the only thing that I would change. But I'm not going to be overly critical on that game, because I feel like it was a very good performance. It was just lacking cutting edge, or just lacking that one, big chance or one big moment. Actually, there were a lot of several big chances, but so there are some games like that where it just doesn't fall for you. But yeah, I was impressed with the performance, but again, the result was not what we wanted. But I think we can still take a point.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. Like we say, bad as it bad. We take that 1 point, right? Okay, let's look at the team like sort of like forensically now. Looking at the team, looking at the crop of players that were invited for those 2 games that we saw in the last international break, right? Let's start from the attack, right? So I think the attack is where a lot of Nigerians feel that there's talent everywhere you look around the world. Like, we're spot for choice in terms of who to even call up. Then when you get called up, who
Mhm.
starts? What's the right formula, like in terms of like the front three? Because I think that's what Nigerians like to say. Like, we always go with the front three, right? So what's the right blend, right? So the last international break, we saw Lookman, we saw Boniface play at some point, we saw Osimhen come in as well. Then we saw the usual Moses Simon. I think
Chukwueze.
that's and Chukwueze as well up front, right? I think I'm going to try to do like kill a bird with. I mean, what's the analogy now?
Kill one bird with two stones.
2 stones,
Kill one
exactly
bird
right.
with, yeah, kill one
Yeah,
stone with one
exactly.
bird, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so looking at that of attack line, right, and then bringing it into the players that we have, that people are like, oh, we need to bring this guy in, or the players that are performing right now exceptionally well around the world. I remember I was watching the Champions League game from match day one, and I saw a particular guy. I don't know if you've seen him before, Victor Olatunji. I
Yeah.
think he's in
Yeah.
Sparta Prague,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
apparently he's been doing very well. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I've not sort of like gotten tabs of him. That's someone that is doing very well, right? There's Josh Maja currently in the West Brom in the Championship. I think he was his highest goal scorer at some point
Yeah.
as
I
well.
think he also scored this weekend. They lost, but he scored.
Yeah, and then I think during the games we saw Taiwa Wuni as well on the bench. So there's a lot of options, right? For you, do you think there are some people that the coach should be looking at, maybe replacing, or they should be starting ahead of somebody else? What do you think?
Replacing, not quite yet. I won't say replace outrightly,
Yeah,
but I've been looking at Chukwueze, and Chukwueze, for me, hasn't had that consistency in the Super Eagles team.
yeah,
And even for his club side, he's always out of cold. He's kind of like lukewarm. He has incredible talent. I was excited for his move to Milan, but we know it's in Milan, huge team, huge expectations, a lot of competition. Having to struggle for places with guys like Pulisic, Rafael Leao. It's not an easy task, so it's always going to be difficult for him. But I think I'll always go with Simon Moses. I feel like Simon Moses just edges it for me in terms of consistency in the national team. He can also be
okay,
frustrating, but he's
yeah,
just had like he's more reliable. So I think Simon Moses, Lukman, and Osime for sure. Now the three midfielders that will play behind them, that's where the problem is, right? We definitely need two to sit. Like we need like double sixes. We need Ndidi when he's fit, and maybe
yeah.
an Oyeka, and then I think the number 10 one is the difficult one. So far we've seen Dele Bashiru, Sadio Bashiru, like he's had flashes of brilliance. Can he nail down that spot? I think that's the one that is up for debate.
Mm.
Also Alexi Wobi is also another name for that number
For
10
you,
role. Like can he connect that defense, that midfield and attack? He's tried a lot in recent years. He's always available, but he doesn't always have the numbers to back it up. So I feel like that number 10 role is one where we should look at critically. Like, who can we bring in to fill that void? Is this somewhere where we even convert a Boniface to play?
mm.
So like that type of role, because I feel like he has those attributes to be on the ball and make things happen. But yeah, and yeah, you talked about other guys that are likely to come in. Victor Olatunji. I mean, I watched that game. I watched that game against Salzburg, I think.
Red Bull Salzburg. Yeah,
And it was the former Liverpool assistant that are now coaches. He's now the new coach of Red Bull Salzburg. I think you guys had a few. One of your guys is on loan. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Stefan Bajcetic.
Yeah. So he had a goal and assist, and what a way to announce himself. And ever since then, I think he scored again. He scored again this weekend. So he's a name that is one of the the newcomers. Every season there's always somebody new. I think he's going to get a big move soon as well. He's somebody I'm looking out for. And another one is George Eleni Kenna, the guy that the young lad that scored the winning goal for Monaco against Barcelona. And it's somebody that I feel like the NFF should be looking at, because I think he has French ties. He was born in Nigeria, but he grew up in France. I think he's going to be exceptional. He'll be one for the future.
You're saying the NFL should be looking at him. All these guys, when they buy them, where would they play? Which game would they play?
No. Look, we need as many options as possible. We need as many options as possible. And you never know what's going to happen with like injuries, and like some of our guys are starting to. Well, no, not in the attack though. Not in the attack. We still have pretty young guys in the attack.
Yeah.
But looking at guys like Kelechi Iheanacho, I'm wondering, like, is it time to start maybe phasing him out of the Super Eagles, because he never quite found a place for himself in the team.
Yeah.
So there are some names there that these guys can put pressure on, right? We want competition, right? We don't want everybody to feel like, oh, their shirt is
guaranteed.
Guaranteed, yeah. So we want people to put pressure on them, and
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, I think that's one thing that has been missing from our national team for a while now, which some people have sort of like mentioned. It feels like there are some names that they feel like, yeah, they're always going to get called up, So I remember there was a time, I think one of those qualifiers, I don't know if it was qualifiers to the Nations Cup, the last Nations Cup, we lost at home to Guinea-Bissau or something in Abuja, and then people were like, they watched the game and they just feel like there's some people there, players there that just feel like, yeah, no matter what, you're going to get invited. Yeah, and I just feel like looking at the English national team, right? It feels like every international, there's always a new person based on form. Like, they're like, this guy is the best, is performing so he needs to come in. So the coach brings in somebody else. Rashford is not performing well, he drops out. I think the Nigerian national team, the NFF, and the coach, whoever, maybe right now, Guavon, should be looking at that to say, okay, Boniface or Simon, you've been coming, but recently we've seen, based on your form, you've not been getting the minutes, or you're not on your top form. Why don't you just, this particular international break, maybe use it to bring in somebody else, like maybe the George Lekina guy or somebody, I don't know. Maybe
that's how it should work. That's how it should be. There should be a blend of merit and experience, right? You don't want to bring in all new faces, but at the same time, you want to bring in guys that are deserving, right? If a guy scores 3 goals or like 4 goals in a month, and there's another guy that has always been called up and hasn't played. For example, I'll give you an example. Taiwo Awoniyi now is struggling to get into his team. He has Chris Wood, who has been exceptional for them, and they've been doing well as a team. And it's always hard for the coach to change a winning team, right? We know Taiwo Awoniyi is exceptional. We know his talents, but for an upcoming qualifiers, right, against maybe we might be up against Benin or Rwanda, one of those teams, right? Why not call up somebody else that is in form, that he's scoring, that he's backing his abilities right now? Why not call somebody of that caliber? Yeah,
exactly. That's the thing. Though we say this thing now, it seems right as well, but we just also have to be careful. Like, there's some sort of fine line that you have to tread.
Exactly. That's what I said. It has to be. Yeah,
exactly. Sometimes you see that there are instances where some people say, "Oh, this person is not on form for his club," but when it comes to the national team, he always delivers. I don't know if we have that particular person in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But I know, going back to the England national team, you hear them say, "Oh, the coach should have taken Rashford," even though Rashford is not on form. They would have taken him to the Euros or Maguire, those sort of arguments. There will always be arguments.
and sometimes too, it's not always to play them, right? the George Elaine Kenna guy is 18, right? You
Yeah,
can bring him around, let him see what is like to be around the boys.
yeah,
Let him learn off the Osimes, the Boniface, just to create that, and then you're building him up for when when his time is going to come. I remember Osime. Osime didn't get his chance right away. He was coming, and there was an Igalo. There were other names in there that he couldn't just break into the team. And then I think he was in Lille, and he was banging in goals, but he was in and around the team. He got to understand the environment, the culture. That's what you
yeah,
do. And like you said, England, they do that a lot. It's not everybody that gets the opportunity right away. I remember this last international break. I think they brought on Angel Gomez. Obviously, they brought on Noni Madueke. They brought on Livramento. I don't think Livramento got to get minutes, but I'm sure
yeah.
like the experience and just being there,
There, I'm
you
on.
get
Yeah,
him excited and fired up for next time, right? Yeah.
absolutely. I think one more area of the team we should touch on is defense, right? I think for me, this is one area that I think we don't really seem to be focusing on a lot, especially as fans, right? I'm looking at our defense now, and you see, and this is where we say, okay, maybe it's now time for us to start maybe phasing one or two people out. I'm looking at the constant um, players there. You're looking at maybe Trust Ekong. I think Kenneth Umwero, I think he's beginning to get phased out. I don't know. Maybe he was injured also. He's somebody that is already towards the end of his, the time with
Time.
the national team. Yeah. So you're looking at Kenneth, what's it called now? Calvin
Basi,
Bassi. He has been
Jimmy
playing
Ajayi.
there. Semi Ajayi, which those guys have sort of come in and they've done a decent job. I would say, like an okay job. I don't know if I don't know if there's anything you would change from your view, or is there any player that you think okay we can bring in as well? I know there's been talk this week around the Chelsea board to see Adibia. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's been talk about him coming in. So yeah, what's your take on our defense?
Yeah, I think the defense is one where I think we're one big injury away from a crisis, or yeah, I don't think we have as much depth as in other areas, especially attack. I don't think we can really compare. If you look at it, apart from we'll start with three defenders, right? Apart from
Yeah,
Semi, Trust, and Bassi,
passing.
who else do we have? I think we have the uh
There's
the Olisa Oda,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
Listen, yeah,
that plays in Orlando Pirates. I think he has good prospects. I've seen him a few times. I do like him, and he can play as a right back or left back, and also as a center back. So yeah, we don't have quite as much depth in there, but there are a few names that I think we can call up. There's the guy that was playing for Luton, Osho.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Gabriel, yeah.
yeah, Gabriel Osho. I think he made a move to League One now. I forgot the name of the club. Was it Ojo or something? I can't remember the name of the club. But I think I still looked him up. I think this weekend he had a decent game. I just can't remember the name of his club. So he's somebody. I know we invited him, and unfortunately, when we invited him, I think that week he got injured or something towards the end of last season. But that's a name that I think we can call up for future games.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, and then finally, in terms of the goalkeeping section, I think we're sort of fine right
Yeah.
now. I don't know too many worries. Of course, number one, Stanley Wabali, right from the AFCON. And then good news is this guy is also back and he's been having a decent sort of run with his club side. That's what's his name, Maduka
Maduka
Okoye. I think
Okoye.
yeah, he's been doing. I think he's been doing well with his club side. I think is it Udinese. I think
Yeah.
yeah. So I think the goalkeeping department is all right. So I think overall, right now, I think the Super Eagles are in a good shape. I don't think we should have so many issues in terms of the upcoming games, and then ultimately qualifying for that Nations Cup next year. The next international break is exactly 2 weeks away. We have back-to-back games against Libya, which I think the aim should be to get 6 points, home and away,
Yeah.
win. As in nothing, and Libya, they don't play, they don't have a CAF approved stadium, I think. So they're going to be playing their home game in the neutral ground. I think I've forgotten the country that they're going to play that game in. So I think Nigeria, there's no sort of excuse. Everybody is in good form. 6 points. I think with 6 points, I'll say we are almost automatically qualified for Nations
Yeah,
Cup because it's the top two teams qualify. And I think
yeah,
the 6 point, I think we'll be guaranteed at least one or two,
yeah,
first or
yeah.
second
Like
position.
if we guarantee ourselves a place, this is where we can now start inviting some of those
Yeah,
like
to
fringe
test them out.
players, to see what they can do, and we have that liberty. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. I think Libya lost to Benin
Yeah,
Republic. Yeah, so that's a game we should definitely win.
absolutely, absolutely. That's a game that we should definitely. And then on a sort of like a newsworthy note, I think this week the NFF confirmed the head coach will still continue. Augustine Iguavo. A lot of Nigerian fans seem to have forgiven him and are happy with him staying on. Let me
Yourself
get your
included.
views
Yourself
on.
included.
Yeah, I think I've had a sort of like soft spot for Iguafon because I think I like his style of play. I feel like that's how the Nigerian national team, especially when we're playing on the continent, I think the sort of talents that we have, I think that's sort of play. We should be attacking teams, going out, imposing ourselves in games. You know, uh, of course, I like that style of play from him. But I think I was looking at his record in Nigerian national team. He has managed 22 games, 15 wins, only 4 losses, which is
That's
not
not
bad.
bad. That's not
But
bad.
then again, two of those losses were very key losses, right? Those type of losses that you stay with you for a while as a Nigerian fan. Especially the game. I think one of them was the Nations
Ghana
Cup
lost.
round of
Oh, Tunisia.
Tunisia, yeah, key round of 16 loss, and then the World Cup qualifier loss to Ghana. So those two stay with you. But all in all, I think he's a good coach. He's won bronze with us, I think, in one of the Nations Cup. I think 2006, I think one of the 2006 Nations Cup, yeah. So, yeah, Augustine Iguavoa, I think I'm fine with him. I think the Adams, I think you're fine with him as well.
Yeah, I mean, for Nations Cup qualifiers, absolutely. Like, I think we should stick with him. If we don't get the right person for the job or for a right foreign coach, I guess he's the next best option we have. So why not?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so I think in terms of the Super Eagles, I think Nigerians are fine. The mood is good. Let's just get the job done this next international break, right? And then just to quickly touch on the Nigerian professional football league, the club sides, in the Nigerian football league, I think the thing that is damning that a lot of Nigerian fans have sort of like, I would say, gloss over because I don't think there's enough outreach as there should be in terms of how Nigerian club sides are doing on like in CAF club competitions, right? I think I was reading sometime the other day that since Enyimba won that CAF, the back-to-back Champions League, maybe 2002, 2003 or something like that, like no major Nigerian club side has even made it maybe to the group, like to the main group stages of those. There are a lot of preliminary qualifiers to get to the main.
Hmm.
It's always been somebody losing out in the penultimate stage, or they don't even get to that stage. So it feels like our club sides have been poorly equipped, right, in terms of getting into that sort of competition. I don't know the others. Let me ask you. I don't know if I know we've not really been giving our club side that sort of following. But looking from afar, I don't know if there's something that you say this could be one of the issues. This is something that will be wrong. And then just before you come in as well, there's this sort of initiative that CAF started. I've forgotten the year where they say, okay, let's create a Nations Cup for strictly home-based players.
The Chan.
The Chan, yeah, the Chan tournament, and I think
I think I
the
think
higher
it's confirmed that Eguavon is going to be in charge of the home
those
base. But yeah,
the Chan team as well. So like our record there is not very good as well for a nation like Nigeria, like in Africa, which we're supposed. I don't think we've won that tournament. Maybe the highest. I remember Steve Keshi taking a side to bronze medal. Maybe that's the highest position we've ever gotten to. I don't know. It just feels like it's not good enough, and I don't know
yeah.
for a nation like Nigeria. I don't know what the sort of the issues are. I would say from my point of view, maybe the issues are in terms of we know the logistics, we know what happens within the running the management of the club sites, or players are not being played. There's no motivation, So when there's no motivation to even execute a local, like a normal Nigerian professional league game, how do you expect them to go against other African teams that are well prepared?
Exactly.
You see stories like, even you see club sides from Tanzania. We know Tanzania national team. We know that, well, there's a club, young Africans, they go in there and they give it their all, because they have owners that are motivated, put the players' priority, their welfare at the forefront. And when too much is given, much is expected. The Nigerian professional league players will say, well, we don't get much. Some people argue that our local coaches are not tactically sound enough. I don't know if there's anything that you want to add in terms of why we're doing, or why our club sides do poorly when they get into the continent.
I think we both know what the reasons are, right? The league is not doing well. The league is poorly managed. The clubs are not, being run properly. I think I saw a clip from an interview from I think it was Fedelis Okechukwu, the Rangers international coach, and then also the Remo Stars coach. Both of them, I think they have a good relationship. Both of them are in the Super Eagles setup too. So yeah, he was saying that they hardly ever keep hold of their best players. Like, their players will much rather play in Rwanda, Tanzania, because they get paid in dollars and they get paid pretty well, and you can't stop them from
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 leaving.
from leaving. Like, every season, it's a big task to try to keep hold of their best players. Um, you know, so yeah, when you don't have your best players, when you don't have the best guys around, and you're losing them to other African teams, which is also strengthening. So it's one thing to lose your players to teams abroad, outside of the continent, to
Continent.
Europe. But when you start losing your players to teams in Egypt, teams in South Africa, teams in Tanzania, we had a, I think it's Tiamiyu, right?
Yeah,
That's his name.
Benjamin Tanimu. Yeah,
Yeah, Tanimu. Sorry, Tanimu. He plays he was playing in Tanzanian league, right? And he's been caught up to Super Eagles a couple times. I knew he made a deadline day move to a League One club in
yeah. I
England
think
or
it's
something.
Crawley Town or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But that just tells you everything you need to know, right? So
Yeah,
our players are going to play for those teams and strengthening those teams. It's hard for our clubs to cope.
absolutely. I think that's a very valid point. You strengthen the opposition that you then meet. So at the end of the day, you meet some of those sides, especially those North African teams, the Egyptian teams, the Algerian teams, the Moroccan teams. You meet them, and then obviously you are not going to qualify
Yeah.
for like the main tournament, which is sad to see.
Now,
And
now
because
we're losing them to even Tanzanian clubs,
you know,
Rwandan clubs.
which
Like,
is very appalling for a nation like Nigeria, man. It's so bad. Like, our administrators need to do better. Like, I don't know. It's just let's just get football right. Let's
yeah,
just get our football right. We always say, like, well, we know the talent is there. We know just get infrastructure right, and the results will come, because, and then I think those sort of competitions come with some sort of financial rewards as well. So
yeah,
as you
a lot of
progress
money.
from each, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Those sort of money will be money that will be flowed back to the club. We used to, to do a lot of things for the club: welfare, pay salaries, maybe training facilities. Bring in sort of psychologists and all those sort of. It's just those things are not there when the foundation is faulty.
yeah,
The house will not stand, because I'm looking at those North African teams. I'm looking at Pyramids in Egypt, Al Ahly, Egypt. Those club sides are run like a European team. I'm sure you'll be looking at those teams. Yeah, like, there's no difference between how they run those teams and maybe how they are running like a Premier League team.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a structure in place. There's a chairman. They go for trainings. They have the best psychologists. They have,
Nutritionist, all that stuff.
exactly.
Go
You just
fly out for preseason trainings.
it's just it's just and then you just come, and then you can't expect that with those sort of preparation, and then you come to meet a demotivated Remo Stars or Rangers, and then you see that they can't meet up. So I don't know, and I just feel like it's been neglected for too long. Because most times I remember my youthful. I'm not saying I'm old now, but my youthful days where we usually look forward to. I used to look forward to those CAF competitions, Saturdays and Sundays,
Yeah,
Enyimba on the continent,
yeah,
playing Orlando Pirates,
yeah,
USM All Jazz of
yeah,
Algeria. Those were really exciting times, and you expect that, yeah, Enyimba will get the job done, win at home, worst case scenario, draw away in Egypt. There was a time that we're not scared of going to
yeah,
Egypt
yeah.
under it,
Police,
like pack.
yeah, yeah.
You know how those North Africans are packed stadiums,
Bro, party
intimidating
stadium.
atmosphere. And Neymar players would just shrug it off. Those were the days. Those
The
were the
good old
times.
days.
Yeah, we need to get back to that. We need to get back to that so that our football will grow. And then people say, oh, why are there no local players in our national team? There's always that ongoing argument that why do we need to beg Tosin to come and play for us? Why can't we get somebody from the local league? But then I don't think you can sort of like ignore the argument from other people that say, oh, are you sure the quality is there? Are these players well
You can't, you
coached?
can't, you can't ignore it.
You can't
They're
ignore
very
it.
valid arguments. Very, very
Exactly.
valid. Like the
And
talent is there, no doubt. Like the talent is there, your raw talent is there, but that's not. You need more than that to to play for the Super Eagles.
yeah,
And occasionally we'll get those very rare talents come through the league, and like you must notice them and be like, wow, this guy needs to come. But other than that, I feel like those guys need to be exposed, especially these days, how tactical football has grown to be. Before you can get away with just being fast or just knowing how. But now you have to be able to play in a system. You have to understand what it means. You have to
yeah,
understand, yeah, there are more intricacies to it now. And I don't think the Nigerian football, Nigerian league has gotten to that yet. There are a few clubs that do it well, that do it right. You look at Remo Stars, and you see, okay, these guys are doing it well.
yeah. I just wanted to ask. I'm not sure as well. Like in terms of ownership of our club sides, right? Um, I think majority of them are being owned by like
Yeah,
maybe
the government.
state
Yeah,
governments.
yeah.
There's always been that argument that let state government hands off and let private individuals run the business. But then some people say, oh, a lot of private individuals are scared or are not really interested because they look at it and say, what is it? Because business people are always after their returns. They're like, if I invest in this, pour my money into this venture, what is my guarantee that
I
in the
think they
long
need to
term?
take a look at clubs like Remo Stars that have been doing it and doing it well. Um, you want to talk about Sporting Lagos, although they got relegated. Doma United too, that's another privately owned team. But if you look at Remo Stars, you look at the structure that they've built. They have the main team and they have like the feeders team that feeds into the main team. So they have an academy. I think it's called Beyond
Yeah,
Limits or
yeah,
something.
beyond me, yeah.
And as a matter of fact, that feeders team qualified to be in the MPFL this season because
Wow.
they play the lower league. I think they play what's the national league called? Kind of like the second division.
Vision, yeah.
But because of like what's that rule again? Like you can't have two teams that are owned by the
But
same the same person in the league because it's conflict of
of
interest. So to
interest,
say.
yeah.
So I think they had to relinquish their sports. And Beyond Limits, they produce players. Didn't they? It might have been them or another team that there was this
No,
Nigerian striker that was on trial at Chelsea that we almost signed. I think he ended up signing in a team in League One or something. So, and they make a lot of money off of that. They make a lot of money off of all these young stars. I've seen a few names move abroad from that Beyond Limits because I follow some of those like Nigerian league journalists, and I think like 4 to 5 in the past year, and that's a lot of money for them. That's some
yeah,
of the ways they make money. They even went to play one competition too with Sporting Lagos. I think it was Sporting Lagos that won like under 19
yeah.
competition.
No, yeah, yeah. I think in Sweden also. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that tournament. Yeah, yeah, which was very good as well. I just yeah. So at the end of the day, a lot of things to unpack. But at the end of the day, one thing that we always say is the administration of the league. Needs to be done better. we need to ensure that, yeah, like pitches are up to standard, the clubs are being run very well. Like if any club is in breach of, sort of not paying their players on time, they need to be
Get them out,
sanctioned,
get the sanction
Exactly.
them, get them out, change the ownership like that. That can't keep happening,
Yes.
man.
Those are, yeah, it can be happening. Those are like basic stuff, which I know. So people say there has been some sort of improvement, but I think there's still a whole lot of more room for improvement in terms of how we run those things, which sort of like, if effectively make, the league better, the league stronger, which then hopefully sort of like, consequently enhance the chances of the club sides in Europe. And then the national team, the league can start producing players that we can say, wow, this guy can give Lookman a run for his,
Yeah.
his shirt in the national team. That is what we want, and hopefully soon in the near future, eventually we're going to get there. We're going to keep on it. We're going to keep at it. This is only one way we can do. We can use our voices. We can use our platform to say
Yeah.
no. We demand better for our football league because we know
Absolutely.
the potential is there. We should be doing better than we are doing. Yeah, Rams. So let's talk. Let's take a trip down to memory lane, right? Yeah, right. Let's take a trip down. So I was thinking about it. I said we won. The last time we won the AFCON was in 2013. Almost 11 years now, which is, I don't know, which is not good. It's not, I don't know, for a team like Nigeria where this is poor. We've won 3 AFCONs, lost. I think we've lost in the final to 5 finals. Anytime I remember that start, it hurts me a
That's
lot.
crazy. 5.
Losing 5 finals. There sometimes they'll say, "Oh, corruption. We shouldn't have lost maybe 1 or 2." So one of those Cameroonian losses that was there, some dodgy officiating. But that's by the way, So yeah, it's not good enough. But so why I brought up that was like, okay, I wanted to say from between 2013 to date, right?
Yeah.
Or from that period, excluding 2013, like from 2014, let's say the last decade,
Yeah.
right, the last 10 years. What would you say? Can you pick out one memory that maybe a qualifiers and AFCON? It could be a World Cup. It's just a match. Like you could just relieve.
I'll say either Nigeria, Iceland.
Yes. That's a good one, yes.
Yeah, or I might talk about obviously the Nigeria versus Argentina game too. Man, those games.
So those games. So those games. Do you remember where you were, where you watched those games?
Oh yeah. I remember the Iceland one. I think I remember the Iceland one. I was living in a good apartment around Arlington. Then I remember that game.
I'm sure it's bringing back memories. You're laughing like yes.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah, I remember it like yesterday. It was a very good game, proper World Cup game, and yeah, I just remembering those games, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I honestly, yes, in reference to that game, I remember that game as well. I think it was an Ahmed Musa brace.
Yeah.
One was that game. I think 2-0 or something. I know Iceland also missed a penalty as well, which made it interesting as well. Tyrone Ibuehi considered that penalty.
Oh my goodness!
I still remember that.
Yeah, you remember?
I still remember that.
You actually remember that?
Yeah, was that the 2018 World Cup in Russia?
Yeah. Must have been.
That was when I around the period I started my professional journey, my workplace. I remember I was at work that day, and then we're like, we're telling our manager, please let us watch this match. Nigeria is playing. Our manager was like, you people should go and sit down. Nigeria is not going to win. We're like, no, let's watch that game. So at the end of the day, we ended up watching the game. I remember our manager jumping when Ahmed Musa scored the first goal. So those sort of things.
Man. Ahmed Musa, man, proper legend, man. Proper legend. This guy knows how to score those World Cup goals.
I think for our next episode, I think we need to have a discuss, right? I think we'll have to do some sort of ranking in terms of like top 5 or top 10 Nigerian players of all time.
Oh yeah,
Where will we put our Musa?
That would be
So
tasty.
yeah, that's something that
yeah.
viewers. That's something that we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask the Adams to go do some research
Oh
and
man,
decide his top 10 Nigerian players of all time, and then rank them from maybe 10 to 1, or maybe if 10 is too much, we could do 5 to 1. That would
Oh
be interesting.
wow, that would be very, it would be difficult. I only see
Yeah,
some controversial takes already, man.
yeah, yeah. I think for me, going down my own memory
Yeah,
lane, I think I'll pick the AFCON. I think it's a round of 16 or quarterfinal victory against Cameroon. That game ended 3 goals to 2, if you remember.
was it the one Alexi Wobi scored the winner?
Yes, the one Alexi Mubi scored the
Yeah,
winner.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. That's a
yeah,
big.
that
I
was a
think
topsy turvy.
Chikwueze scored too, right?
No, he didn't score in that game, but he scored in that tournament.
Oh, okay.
That was like his breakout tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was where African people were like, wow, Chukwueze, wow, this guy looks
Yeah,
promising. Yeah, I think that was the 2019 AFCON.
yeah, I think so too. I think
2019
I think
AFCON.
Victor Osimhen was in that AFCON.
Yeah, he was in that AFCON, but that was also where he was. Or Johnny Gallo was
Yeah, yeah. Igalo, I think
was the
Igalo
like
was
the
probably highest goal scorer or
goal scorer.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he won the Golden Boot.
yeah.
Osimhen
And
was like
bronze.
sort of tutoring him. I remember Osimhen coming in that third place game. And we're like, oh, this guy, I liked him because he was sharp, he had
Yeah,
pace, he wanted to run in behind. So yeah, that tournament was also some sort of good vibes. I think, of course, the semi-final loss to Algeria was going to
Oh
hurt. That
man,
Mahrez free kick.
that free kick was out
But at
of.
the end of the day, it was
It
out
was
of this
something
world.
special. It was something
Something
special.
special. I remember the goalkeeper, Dan Akpeyi, and Henry Onyekuru lying on the ground, and they were laughing at him like, oh, what he did. But at the end of the day, I think, Algeria deserved to win that particular
Oh yeah,
game.
they did.
They were the best
But
at that time.
oh, we had a very good team. We had a very good team that year. I think it just
Yeah.
slipped away from us. That was going to be years that we could have
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah, I think that's one of and the thing that Nigeria, a lot of silver medals and bronze medals from
Too many.
AFCONs, too many that we
Maybe.
only wish we could convert to to the eventual like trophy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Why I actually picked out that game was it was fun because it was funny because the nature of my job always involves always involves me traveling. So that particular day, the week before, I traveled to Akure for to do for work in terms of one of our clients' premises, and then that Saturday, because I remember it was on a Saturday where I was traveling back to Lagos by road, and I think the game was around maybe 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. I was just like, no, I don't want to miss this game. I was like telling my colleague, please, let's go, let's start going. I remember in the morning, I was like, please, let's start going. Traffic. We're going to meet traffic around that Lagos beggar. I'm like, nah. And the moment we got there was traffic, and I was like,
of course,
no way am I going to be in traffic and miss this game. But luckily for me, I think I got home around the 20th minute mark. I was rushing. I didn't even take off my clothes. I was like, is the game on? Where is the game? Where is the game? I was just asking my brother. My brother was like, oh, that's true. So I remember that was the moment I was like, yeah, brings back memories.
if we go back even further, I think it was 2006. One of the games that I really remembered was it 2006?
Yeah.
You remember that famous Odewingi celebration?
Oh,
you remember that? That one always sticks to my mind too because I remember exactly what happened that day. Yeah, there's just some of those games. Was that 2006?
I think it was 2004.
Was 2004? Yeah, okay, probably 2004.
Yeah. I remember then we beat South Africa maybe 4-0.
Yeah. It was South Africa 4-0. I think it was 4-0. I think Odewingu probably scored 2 goals that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. It was those are real memories. I think I think we can also use this opportunity like one of those. Remember those sports journalists of those years as well that used to bring us, those sort of like Super Eagles memories. I think there's one of them. I think is it Tijani? I've forgotten his other name. Maybe Tijani something who passed away recently.
Really?
Yeah, one of them passed away recently. I've forgotten his name. I think maybe NTA or something. I can't remember. But those sort of memories, yeah, yeah. Good vibes, good memories, the
Yeah,
Adams,
good
good
vibes,
vibes,
good
yeah.
vibes. And yeah, I think we even created some good memories for like the younger ones that watch this last AFCON, although we lost, but they'll probably remember they remember they remember the Iheanacho winner.
Winning penalty
Yeah,
against South Africa,
yeah,
yeah.
they'll remember I think it is Lukman against Cameroon.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, some creating some memories around there. Hopefully, we can create a lasting one.
Winning memories,
Yeah,
exactly. Winning memories. Those are the ones that are going to last. Just like the 2013 AFCON that we won with
yeah, yeah. Exactly,
Rest his soul,
exactly where I
the
was with that
late
one
Stephen
too.
Keshi, yeah.
Yeah.
So that those are the sort of memories that we want, right? Okay. So hopefully this current crop of Super Eagles players will do the job for us. And then the Adams, finally, one or two Super Eagles related questions before we call this a wrap.
Okay.
Right. So recently we've seen that Victor Osimhen has, sort of in terms of his goal scoring record right now for the Super Eagles, I think he's now maybe level on number of goals with the great Segun Odegbami, I think.
Did he
Is
passing?
he is he level? I think either, oh my goodness, I think he's level, the same number of goals, or he's
Yeah.
just one behind. No, I think he's past him. In fact, he's past him, right, the
Yeah.
Adams,
Yeah.
because he's number 2 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you
Wow.
do you can you name the other without looking at
Okay.
anything? Can you name the other like in terms of the top 5, right? Can you name the other 4 players that are in the top 5 goal scoring charts for Nigeria?
Okay. So I think you already answered 3 for me. Yeah. So obviously, Rashid Yekini, Osime, Odegbami. I think number 4 is probably going to be Ayegbeni.
Yes,
Number
Yakuba
4 is
Egwin.
Yakubu Ageni.
And who's the
Number
5th?
number 5. Who? Number 5. Is this somebody in an era that I will know?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bafemi Martins.
No, I think
Uh,
I think it was in that Obafemi Martins era, maybe Odenwige era as well.
Agawa.
No,
Oh no, Agawa didn't score that many goals. He didn't score that
no,
many goals for us.
yeah, no.
Who was the striker of
Yeah,
that era?
yeah. I think he hints that. Yeah, I think he had a brother that also played for the Super Eagles.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He was quite prolific.
Yeah,
Ikechukwu. Ike Uche.
Ike Uche.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's the number.
He was
That's the
quite
5th
prolific. Yeah.
player.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He scored a lot of goals.
Yes, he did. He did. He did. He did. And then finally, I think this one will be a bit simpler, right? So my second country after Nigeria, Scotland, where I am right now. Can you name like 3 Nigerian players that have played in Scotland?
I've played in Scotland.
Yes, 3.
Oh. Efe Ambrose.
Yeah.
Um, we have a Nigerian striker currently playing in Rangers.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. I remember his face, but I can't remember his name.
Cyril Dessers.
Yeah, yeah, he had one
Cyril
of those.
Dessers.
You know,
Yeah.
Scotland. Who else? Did Amokachi play in Scotland?
No.
Bro, Joel Aribo,
Yeah.
Kelvin Bassey.
Calvin Bassey. Yes.
Yeah.
Good one, the others. Good one, the others. Yes. So the whole host of players I've played in Nigerian players have played in Scotland. Fair enough. I think these guys who played in Scotland, if I'm or am I wrong? The Soji, if it's Soji, did he play in Scotland?
Oh, I'm
I'm
not
not
sure
sure.
about that. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I know he probably
Fair.
played for
In
Sheffield.
England.
Sheffield
Yeah.
United, Sheffield Wednesday.
In England, yeah. Fair enough. All right. The Adams. This is where we have to bring this particular show, episode 1 of our only night show, to
It's
an end.
episode 1, season 1.
Exactly, episode 1, season 1.
Yeah,
I
but
think
before we go, who was your star of the week or couple weeks. Nigerian player of the week. Let me give you a few options.
Yeah, please give
We
me a
have
few.
Osimhen scoring a brace yesterday, 4 assists. I think maybe 2 or 3 assists in his last 3 games. Assist against Fenerbahce,
True.
assist in the on his Europa League debut for the club, assist on his debut for the club as well, and he scored 2 goals as it was yesterday. And then we have Boniface, who against Bayern Munich, I don't think he played a lot of minutes in that game. They drew 1-1 this weekend, but the previous weekend he scored a winner, like an 80 something minutes winner, I think against Wolves.
Barcelona.
Yeah, against Wolfsburg, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've had Ndidi. Ndidi, of course, they lost to Arsenal this weekend, but he had a good performance, assist. Unfortunate that he scored an own goal, but yeah, he's also there as well. And I think we have it will be past couple matches ago. I think he got an assist, probably
Yeah.
breaking one assist record. Yeah, I think there's a no, I don't think Lukman scored a penalty in a loss 2 games ago. Who else?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penalty. Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah. I think maybe you can also mention Victor Latunji in terms
Yeah,
of his
Victor
exploits in the
Latunji. Victor
Champions League.
Latunji is on good goal scoring form. He can't stop. He can't stop scoring. Calvin Bassi, I think he's doing well for his club as well. Yeah, a lot of names there. A lot of names. Josh Maja, Semi Ajayi.
Yeah, so like our players that seem to be in red hot form right now. It's hard for you to say, "Oh, this is my star of the week" or "This is my player of the week," And of course, long may it continue. We want that sort of headache. We want our players to be in good form, coming into the national team. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But to pick Victor Osimhen, man. I don't know. It looks like I can't look past him,
Yeah, it has to be Victor,
new club with a lot of pressure on his shoulders to deliver. And I think he has started well. He has started well in sort of his new club. Long may he continue. And I liked Victor Latunji's performance against Red Bull. It was a thorn in the flesh of this defender throughout the game.
It was.
You could see like when he had the ball, there was a lot of panic in the Red Bull Salzburg defense. So that was a good performance from Victor Latunji.
The biggest stage as well, Champions League.
So that has to count for a whole lot more if I'm going to say yeah. So those are like my top. So I'll say Victor Latunji and Victor Osimhen. Victor.
Yeah. These are the victors.
Exactly.
We seem to have a pipeline for these victors. He's spawning another one every year.
I'm very Victor. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, the Adams, this is where we bring the end to the show. The first episode of our only night show on the Football Fan Zone. It was nice, it was good, was interesting, was lovely. So we'll be back again in like a fortnight. I'm thinking we'll be back just before those crucial international games against Libya. Yeah, or maybe just after that.
Maybe after. Yeah. After
after that, we'll be back to review those games, and then the Arabs is going to give me his ranking of his top five
Nigerian players of all time. Yeah, that would be interesting. You don't want to miss that one.
You don't want to miss that one at all. We don't. In fact, we don't. I don't want to miss it as well. So that is something to look forward to. Yes, and I think on the final note, I think the ladies or under 17 ladies are about maybe a few weeks away from kicking off the under 17 Women's World Cup.
Okay.
Wish them all the best of luck in that as well. All right, the Adams, thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure doing it with you, talking Naija with you. Yeah. So hopefully our football, from here we can only add our voices, use our platform, to hopefully propagate like the success of Nigerian football, of course, to bring joy to the faces of a lot of Nigerians. All right, guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.